the billions of animals that are so badly mistreated, systemically, not just the occasional one, but crammed into places that are as horrible as the Nazi death camps. In fact, worse. The animals have it worse. The Holocaust never ended for them.
Okay, who wants to tell her what
The Holocaust is...
I might actually be tapped out.
I'll tap in for this one, Rachel. Don't worry. You take a break. You deserve it. Unfortunately, there's no shortage of anti-Semites in the world. And the funny thing is, many of them probably don't consider themselves to be anti-Semitic. Like that Holocaust teacher. Oh, sorry. I mean that vegan teacher. That vegan teacher, real name Katie Karen Diekmeyer, is, I guess you would call it a social media personality. And you can probably guess what her main shtick is. Yep, it's harassing people for not being vegan. Katie got banned from TikTok last week after she made a video asking a 16-year-old YouTuber, Tommy Innit, to show girls his fruit and vegetables, i.e. his genitals, which, yikes, is probably not strong enough. A 56-year-old woman should know better, especially if she's a teacher, as she claims to be. Now, she claims she didn't know that Tommy Innit was only 16, but goodness knows if that has any truth to it. After she got banned, Katie quickly made several new accounts on TikTok, including one under the name That Holocaust Teacher. Cringe alert. That alone shows why she should have been banned from the app ages ago. Now, I'm not saying vegans should be banned from social media. Most of them are pretty chill. Aside from the very aggressive vegan evangelists, there's nothing wrong with being vegan. But there is something wrong with comparing literal genocide to eating meat. You should definitely get banned for that. She should have also gotten banned for whatever this, I guess, song is.
It was a Holocaust. What they did to the Jews and the LGBTQs, it was a Holocaust. So many lives were lost. It's still a Holocaust. Just look down at your plate. You paid someone to stab them. You decided their fate. It's still a Holocaust. The animals are innocent. They need a Bill of Rights. Stop raping and enslaving them, terrifying them day and night. It's still a Holocaust. And we are to blame. So let's hang our heads in shame. And now, no matter what the cost, let's end this Holocaust.
Yes. I am glad you understand the basic facts of the Holocaust. Mazel tov. Congrats on that. But you can't compare people being killed on the basis of their identity to the death of animals. Katie, you realize that Jews, Romani, and LGBTQ people were compared to animals to justify their deaths, right? I mean, you claim to be so knowledgeable about the Holocaust, so what do you have to say about that? The Nazis, they called us vermin. They said we were worth less than dogs. They said we were subhuman. And they didn't just say that about the Jewish people. They said it about the Romani, the LGBTQ community, the disabled community, anyone who they didn't like, anyone whose identity didn't fit in with the Aryan ideal, vermin. And so when you make that comparison, even though you're making it in good faith, you aren't elevating animals to the status of human beings. You're relegating the victims of genocide to the status of animals. And not like good animals. Like mosquitoes. It's fucking disgusting. And I really shouldn't have to explain this. But Unfortunately, a big part about being Jewish is calling out people for being anti-Semitic. And of course, anti-Semitism isn't her only crime. She's made videos that were anti-black, homophobic, transphobic, probably a lot of other phobics, but those are the main ones. But few people are really calling her out on the more covert or accidental anti-Semitism. I mean, some people have, but Katie weirdly talks about religion a lot, and unsurprisingly, it's mostly in a Christian-centric context. I doubt she knows the first thing about Judaism, but in her video, Eat Pizza, Change Your Religion, she tells people they should try changing their religion. Or, in other words, pretend they're part of a different religion every day. It's like, in theory, it's a good thought. It's an interesting way of learning other perspectives and empathizing with people. But that's not how she handles it, and also not how things work.
So as vegan animal rights activists, what we can do is we can adapt to whatever religion. If somebody says they're Christian, we can say, hey, I'm Christian too, and you can be Christian that day. Be kind, follow all the good rules of the Bible. Thou shalt not kill, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and any other religion as well. Whatever the religion, you can be that religion in order to be able to relate to people. People do change religions all the time. There's no official way that you must do it.
I'll be able to tell if you're actually a Jewish person or somebody pretending to be a Jew, like Azealia Banks or Trisha Paytas. That's not how religion works. There are official ways to be part of a religion. It's called conversion. And the idea that anyone could be a member of any religion is harmful to members of minority religions whose ideas get misinterpreted by outsiders, and who, like us Jewish people, get holidays and iconography stolen and retooled. A Christian pretending to be Jewish is harmful. And many Jews, myself included, find it deeply offensive when Christians appropriate our customs. You're welcome to celebrate with us if you're invited, but, don't go to your church's Seder. Jesus never did that. And being Jewish is not as simple as saying, I'm Jewish, so today I'm going to worship Jewishly. Surprisingly, a religion and culture that survived for over 5,000 years of being booted from country to country is a little bit complex when it comes to membership. And I like my religion. I like being Jewish. I wouldn't be making all these videos about it if I didn't. And do I think everyone else is wrong? Anyone who isn't Jewish is wrong? No. And I lean more towards the agnostic and atheist side of Judaism, especially. There is a God, he's kind of a dick. But I like how my religion connects me with my culture and heritage. And I don't like it when people who are not connected try to borrow our stuff. You say religion and science are incompatible.
Or what if you, who has whatever religion, was born into an atheist household? One where they make you think. Atheists tend to be more science-based. They believe in the science of things. So you should try that once in a while too.
But that's just untrue. Religious and observant people can believe in science. And you can be Jewish and an atheist. Believing in God isn't a prerequisite to being Jewish. So, Katie, maybe you should do a little more research and see how other religions aren't run like your Catholic elementary school. And that people of other religions, other non-Christian religions, don't necessarily believe our religion was best because we were born into it. Judaism is pretty cool. We have a holiday where it's basically an obligation to get stupidly drunk, and we have like four tree-related holidays, okay? We love the environment, and we love fruit. Jews love trees. And yet you misunderstand not just how religion works, but how hate works.
Why did we do that to the Jews? Why did the world let that happen? Because good people remain silent.
Holocaust didn't happen because good people remained silent. It happened because there was already a long and storied history of anti-Semitism in Europe, and Hitler took advantage of that to use Jews as a scapegoat for issues Germany was facing following the First World War. People believed it. Lots of people said nothing because they actually agreed with it. They had been indoctrinated into believing Jews were less human than them, and that Jews were the cause of the country's problems. And don't you dare bring up how we're taught to see animals as lesser. That's not the same as what was happening during the Second World War. It's not even apples and oranges. It's apples and wasabi. You cannot equate human life with the life of animals and compare the meat industry to the Holocaust, all while claiming not to be anti-Semitic.
Looking at it from the perspective of the animals, you're 1,000 times worse than a Nazi from the perspective of an animal, and that's something you cannot deny.
So he's not saying he's equal to that this is equal to the Nazis and what they did. He's actually saying that the animal Holocaust is worse than what the Nazis did. But anyways, that was a very good video in my opinion. Veg Steps. I encourage people to follow him. That seems like a really interesting perspective. He seems well-spoken, polite. The conclusion is that I do not think that he is anti-Semitic. That's my view. What do you guys think?
You don't get to tell Jews what is and isn't anti-Semitic. You're not Jewish. You don't get to have an opinion on this, and especially you don't get to have an opinion as ill-informed as yours. If a Jew is telling you something is anti-Semitic, listen. If you can listen to the cries of animals and see and feel pain, then you can understand and listen to my pain. And I get it. We're disagreeing on a fundamental point. You claim to believe that animal and human lives are of equivalent value, and you know what? Fine. If you want to compare animals to people, do that. Just find a way to leave the Jews, the Romani, the LGBT community, the disabled community, the Black community, and all other marginalized communities out of your comparisons. Does that sound fair? And also, Katie, for the last time, your account wasn't banned for speaking the truth. It got banned because you sexually harassed a minor. I don't care what you stand for. If you're anti-Semitic, anti-Black, homophobic, transphobic, or sexual harasser, your opinion is null and void.